Thank you. Find it fast enough. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Lesley Jackson. For those of you who don't know me, you probably do know me just because I was co-coaching with Nick Baldwin. As we know, he left EXP. We wish him good luck. But I was coaching with Nick Baldwin, and prior to that, I was a regional tech trainer for Colorado, and I reside in Colorado. So yeah, as an RTT, I oversaw about 28 offices, trained the top 20%, and have taught at Mega Camp, have taught at Family Reunion. And I decided to step aside from that job just because I found out that I was going to be having a second baby. So now my baby is one. I have two babies, one 1-year-old and one 3-year-old, and I live in Highlands Ranch, Colorado. So that is just a little bit about me. And I would love to introduce you to my co-host, Tyler Shields. Tyler, tell us a little bit about you.
What's up, everybody? Super excited to be here with you guys. I love teaching because I'm one of you guys. I'm an agent. I'm a real estate agent. I run a team. I run an expansion team called Relevate. We have locations in Denver, Colorado, in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and in Phoenix, Arizona. And so what I love about that is that I run ads for my team. And I don't just test them. I don't just teach about it. I run them for my team. I work the leads. I work the leads alongside our agents. We convert those leads to make money. My greatest goal when I'm running ads is to make some money, not just to talk about how great this is, but to make money. So I come to teach you guys about the ads because they're making money for us and for our team. So I'm excited to do that. Our team closed just over 4 million in GCI this year. And over 1 million of that is from online leads. We've been working online leads since we got started in 2015. And so excited to provide just the balance of not just, how to create awesome leads, but also how to convert them and to actually make money, and just to bring that agent perspective of, I know what you guys want because that's what I'm doing. So excited to be here with you guys.
Yay. So we want to just give you a recap of what today is going to be about. Tyler, did you want to kind of give them those bullet points before we dive in?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously we have an hour Zoom call. We're not going to be able to get to everything, but what we wanted to do is, one, give you the general structure, what I believe to be the structure of what it takes in order to make money from command ads. This is the steps in the process our team uses to close deals and to make money. And then we want to do a deep dive into the part of the process that we get the most questions about, which is that first step. So we're going to do kind of the overview of kind of the 4 steps that's needed in the process to make money. But we're going to do a deep dive on the first step, which is creating the ads and what ads are actually working. I would say that's the most common question we get is, what are ads that work and how do you create those ads? So we're going to spend the majority of our time diving deep onto actual real life ads that are working. And we're actually going to take you through a step-by-step process on how to build an ad similar to that. And then we're just going to give you a general idea of the other steps that are necessary after you create the leads to make money. And then there'll be future training opportunities you guys can jump into if you want deeper dives in the other steps of the process. And then we'll, of course, leave some time at the end for question and answer so we can hopefully answer some specific questions for you guys. So that's what we hope to do today.
Yes. Perfect. Did you guys catch all that? I hope you did. Okay, so check this out. We are recording. So somebody just direct messaged me. I'll do my best to answer any questions in the chat. Tyler, why don't you take it away with sharing some of your best performing ads? I hear you had one that just really skyrocketed. So let's talk a little bit about that one and share it with everyone, shall we?
Absolutely. There's a lot of different ads I could share, but what I love to do my best to try to go to the most recent history of ads so that you guys can see this is actually working. So what I love about the ad I'm about to show you is I'm running it currently in all 3 of my markets. I'm running it in Phoenix, I'm running it in Colorado Springs, and I'm running it in Denver. And the only thing I did was change the wording from Denver to Phoenix to Colorado Springs and change the picture of the home to a home that would be representative of that area. So let me show you an example here of an ad that I'm running. I'm going to pull it up and share my screen here. Here we go. Okay. Can everyone see this right here?
Yes.
All right. So This is an example of an ad that I built yesterday. So talk about recent history. I built it yesterday. I've already seen 5 leads come in at a $1 per lead. $1 per lead. Okay. So if you know anything about the Phoenix market, commission on a deal in Phoenix is like $15,000, something like that. And so this has a really good propensity to make us a lot of money. So let me just kind of break down a few of the aspects of this ad. So you guys not only see what we built, but why we built it this way. Okay. The reason I built this wording is not because I'm super smart, super creative. It's because Gary Keller told me something that I thought would be really smart to incorporate into ads. Gary Keller said, if I had a bunch of listings right now, I would have riders on every listing that says flexible terms. I'd have a rider on every listing that says flexible terms, right? Because every buyer is interested if they can get a deal, right? The buyers that are looking are interested if they can get a deal. So he said, I would put flexible terms rider on every single one of my listings. So I thought, why don't I just create an ad with that same wording? So what I did is I created this homes in Phoenix area with flexible terms. Take advantage of this market with possible price reductions, closing costs paid, rate buy downs, and more. Click for more info. So all I'm saying is these homes might have flexible terms. You might be able to get a good deal. And here's some specific examples of what that looks like. Click for more information. All right. And then what I did is one more thing I'll mention on this. You'll probably hear Lesley and I say this 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Emojis matter. Emojis matter. We've tested it, A/B tested it. Emojis matter. So emojis just draw attention like other things don't. So on the home, I just chose one of our listings that I thought was representative of the type of home they might find in this search. I just chose one that was representative of the search in Phoenix. And then, crap, it's not wanting to scroll down here. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. That's all it's showing right there. But, and then down here, it's cutting off, but let me see if I can get it to, it's not doing it. Down here, it just says need a deal, ? And so that's kind of the main preview is just need a deal. And I'm pretty sure I just put the money bag emojis on either side of that, need a deal. And so that's the ad itself. I ran that ad for, it's $100 over 10 days. And so, yeah, right now I've already had 5 leads come in one day at $1 a lead. So there you go.
Amazing. Amazing. And if I could just add a little bit something here for those of you who are listening in and they're like, and you're thinking, wait, what if I don't have a listing for this ad that represents the neighborhood? Here's a pro tip. And you could just write this down if you're taking notes. All you do is you pull up the neighborhood or the area that you want to promote on your site. Look at the type of homes that are being promoted in there, and then go find a stock image at unsplash.com. It's unsplash.com. You can also find Unsplash images inside designs. So inside command, if you were to go to designs, there is stock images in there that will help you portray the type of home that you're going to be selling on this ad. Okay. And I think that's where most people get stuck, Tyler, is that they think, well, shoot, I don't have a listing in this area, and what do I do? Honestly, that is my pro tip. I just go to my website and I'm like, okay, cool. What do homes in Littleton, Colorado look like? I'm just going to go look and see what Littleton, Colorado homes look like on a search, any home search. Yep. I highly suggest you use your consumer sites. And then I go find a stock image on unsplash.com or somewhere inside the design stock option image area. And I just kind of make them look similar. Trust me, nobody's saying, oh, well, that doesn't look like a Littleton home, right? But as long as you get something very similar to that area, then that is the answer to that solution.
Yep. And I actually learned that early on by observing other marketing companies running Facebook ads for my business before I took matters into my own hands, I realized they were not using pictures of homes for sale. And in fact, they weren't even good about using homes that were representative of the area. Every Facebook comment I got was like, that home's not in Denver, that home's not in Phoenix, whatever. So I said, well, clearly I don't need to use an active listing. I just need to use a home, a picture that I have to use that's representative of what's out there. So I love what Lesley said. Other couple tips would be go to any past listing you've had, something that's sold in the past that's representative, or ask anyone else in your office, does anyone have a listing that I could advertise or I could use the photo for? Because who wouldn't want you to pay to advertise their listing? They get free advertising for their listing, and then you get the lead. There's a lot of ways to figure it out, right? So don't let that be the barrier. Yeah.
And in fact, I'm going to share my screen now and give you an example of an ad that I just created for somebody here in New York. Can you guys see this? That just listed? Okay, sweet. So this is the exact example of what I'm just telling you about. All I did was I don't live in New York. I live in Colorado, right? So I don't know what ads to create in that area. So all I did was go to their area that they wanted to promote in the Upper West Side and find a home that would look like this. Guess what? There was a stock image inside Command, inside Designs that literally depicted exactly that. So in this ad, you guys, I literally just used one photo. And as you can see in this description, it's very simple. It's going to be this is a home search ad, actually. So this wasn't for a listing, but it kind of looks like it's for a listing, right? So it looks like from the naked eye that from afar that this is a home that was just listed. However, if I were to read the fine print, it also tells me that there's going to be more behind this link. You guys, we caught a $4.5 million buyer and one referral. I literally put this ad on repeat for one of my clients. They captured over 60 leads, 60 leads. So you can't, what Tyler and I are trying to portray to you today, or really try to send you the message today, is don't overthink the process. The simpler, the better. And the more that you can put yourself in the buyer's seat in the description, then you're going to be good to go. Emojis and capital letters. You're going to see this theme across the board.
Yep. And what I
have any questions?
I was just going to say, what I love about this one is this is an example about an ad advertising a specific listing. But one of the biggest mistakes people tend to make when they're advertising a specific listing is they put way too much information about the listing on the ad itself. If you give all the information about the listing away right here in the ad copy, then no one needs to click through. So the worst thing you could do is you could put the exact price, the bedrooms, the bathrooms, the square footage, exactly where it is, and then give a carousel of 5 photos. Because if you give them all that up front, they have no reason to click on your ad. So what I love about this in the description is all you've said is Upper West Side and something everyone's looking for in Upper West Side, right? Views of Central Park, pet friendly, plenty of space, and then a general photo of a home in that area. So of course you're going to click on here to actually see what the home is. So I think that's that's awesome.
Yeah. We actually have this one. I have this one running right now, this very moment.
I love it.
So this is a now example.
Thomas had also asked, what is the best dollar amount to spend on an ad? So there's like 10 different ways to answer that question, but I'm going to split the question into 2 questions. The 2 questions I think you're actually asking is, 1, what is the total spend you should put on an ad? And then 2, what is the spend per day you should put on an ad, right? So I think spend per day is much more what affects your cost per lead and those types of things. Total spend is about your budget and how many leads you want. So I can't answer that question for you. Only your budget and how many leads you want can answer that question for you. But spend per day is a little bit of a science, and I think it depends on your area. I've played with anywhere from $3 to $10 a day in kind of my ad spend. And I think that it really doesn't matter your length as long as you stay in that cost per day. So if you're doing $5 a day, you could do 100 days or you could do 7 days. But if you keep that cost per day, the ad should perform similarly. Do you have a thought on spend, Lesley, like on cost per day?
I do. So I agree with everything that you say, Tyler. And I also have kind of a go-to spend that I always advise people to think about. It's pretty economical. And I always like to say, you don't have to spend, first and foremost, you don't have to spend a ton of money inside Command because we have that exclusive partnership with Facebook. If you do not know that, know that now that Facebook and Keller Williams work together side by side. The reason why is because they want to make sure your ad is optimized. So with all that being said, your dollar amount is going to run much higher to capture leads. So my suggested amount has always been around $50 to $55 for 7 days. That will give you at least a little bit under $4 a day per channel. So if you were running a Facebook and Instagram ad, then look at both of those spends per day. If you were looking at just a Facebook ad, then maybe you don't want to spend 55 and maybe you want to spend 40. But I like to aim around the $4 a day amount just because I find that optimizes the lead capture more. And yet there are other ways like Tyler had mentioned too. So take both of our advices and take it with where your budget lies in that. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
One thing that's really cool about Command ads is that it's very customizable. And so you can shoot for lower price points, cheaper leads, or you can shoot for higher price points and more expensive leads. Just understand that if you want to shoot for more expensive leads because you think they're higher price points and it's going to make you more money, then your cost per day is going to need to be higher and your total spend is going to need to be higher. So just understand that one of the best things about Command is it's all flexible, it's all dynamic. But I love Leslie's suggestion. Start with a sweet spot, start with that $50, $55, range over, you said 7 days. And then then you can test from there. Let me test a little bit less.
You can test from there. Exactly. Because if you throw in $100 and you're not feeling confident about your ad set, or maybe this is like a brand new journey for you to create a Facebook ad, I highly suggest to start in the lower end so that you could save the money. Now, I don't want to get too much into the weeds here, but do you guys have any other questions before we show any more examples?
Let's see. We have, what's the ideal days to run the ad? I have tested.
What do you do, Tyler?
I've tested a lot of different date ranges. Much like Lesley said, I would suggest you start with a number like 7 to 10 days. Just start with something like that. Like a week is pretty easy. Like 7 days is pretty easy because you can build it on a Monday, and then have it, you look at it again the next Monday, like choose a time every week to look at your ads. But I will tell you that as I started getting into the science and I found an ad that I loved and it was working, instead of just renewing that ad every week, I just extended the days. So I've tested up to 60 days of an ad running, and I got very similar cost per lead as long as I kept my cost per day the same. And so I think ideally start with 7 to 10 days, but you can extend that over time if you like the ad and it's working. And honestly, if you set a long time and the ad's not performing, you can always pause it. You can always stop the ad.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you set a longer time, you can always stop it. So.
Yes. And in fact, I was going to mention that. So love that you mentioned it. We're on the same page. I never let an ad run its full course without capturing leads. So always make sure, this is just another pro tip. Always make sure that you check in on your ad at least halfway through. When I notice that the ad is really performing well is when I see leads being captured within 48 hours. So 48 hours is really the sweet spot. If it doesn't speed up from there, like really just start thinking about if you would be okay with just throwing that money away. If you're not okay with throwing that money away, then just click pause. Now, after that, you guys, it's really nice because Command will hold that amount of money inside your Facebook Command account as credits. So let's pretend you paused it halfway through on a $50 ad and you only spent $25. Well, the other $25 will be saved as credits so that when you go to create your next ad, those credits will then be applied to that ad. So that's why I like to say, I love to save you guys money in that way, in that sense. And every single kind of tip there, I think, could really help you.
I love it. I love it.
Cool. Shall we share a couple more ads, Tyler?
Let's do it. And then for you guys to know, one of our next things we're going to do after that is we're actually going to build an ad for you. So some of the questions I see in the chat are going to get answered as we go through building that ad. So just let you guys know, we'll talk through all those various settings we do as we walk through that. So yeah, let's look at another ad. You have one, or you want me to show one?
Perfect. Go for it. You do one, then I'll do one.
Okay, let me trying to find. Do
you want me to go first?
Well, if you go first, I'll pull up. I have a bunch of similar ad copies, so I want to find a different ad copy for them. All right, you guys. And again, we're showing you ads that were like literally just recently created. So I'm going to show you one that was for a luxury agent in the Northern California area. And she had a beautiful listing that we ran this ad for, and it generated around 25 leads. Again, her budget was very much what I suggest. So $55 for 7 days. And again, you'll see common themes like we mentioned earlier, emojis, capital letters, keep it simple. Now, this was a listing that she had. And of course, this wasn't the live listing because you could see my, the house doesn't have an E on it. This was just a mock-up, right? So, but this is exactly kind of the content that the copy that I had. And it was a success. She had a lot of leads that came through. We again pointed the listing to the listing on her site, and we ran it for $55 for 7 days, 25 leads came through. Cool. There's that ad. Love it.
Any questions about this? New here. What do you get with lead email addresses? Okay, wait. So where did we end up? So last time we answered a question was, do you run ads every week and use the same geographic area consistently? Great question. So it's all about, I always advise where you like to do business. So, promote an area that you're ready to go drive to show a home. So I like to say, pick your top 5. I run ads for my clients once a week, and my clients literally just say, wherever I can do business, right? So this week will be in this area, this week will be in the next area. I also have people that I work with that are saying, I just want to specifically do the Upper West Side in this area. So it's all about where you want to do business. Don't overthink it. There's no right or wrong, but the more that you put an ad up, the more brand awareness that you're going to also create as well.
Yep. Yeah. Geographic area, just know with geographic area, we're limited with how narrow we can make that because of fair housing and discrimination laws with ad sets. And so you're not going to be able to do like a super small geographic area on what you're actually targeting in the ad. So most of your targeting is going to come from your ad copy, right? So let's say I have to use a 20-mile radius of Denver, but I want to capture someone looking in Littleton. Well, I'm not going to be able to do 1 mile or 5 miles of Littleton, most likely. But what I can do is I could say, looking for homes in Littleton in the ad copy, right? So you can affect your geographic location. Or if you want to go super narrow, choose a neighborhood. So there's an awesome neighborhood in Highlands Ranch called Backcountry. So I could say, hey, are you looking to buy a home in Backcountry? Here's some homes in Backcountry, right? If I'm looking in that area, then I'm going to click on that ad. So you can get geographic with your ad copy more than just the ad, the location.
Perfect.
All right. Angie said, what do you get with the lead? You get name, email, phone number. And what happens is the Facebook lead form is going to pop up. So it's going to autofill that information from their Facebook profile. So it's as easy as that lead just saying, yes, that's my information. That does obviously mean sometimes you're going to get bad info. That's okay. That's part of the game. We'll talk about that later. Yep. But yeah, that's what it's going to look like. So should we show one more ad and then jump to building?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Okay. I have this right here. I'm going to show. Okay, this is an example of running an ad around a specific listing. So what I said here, just listed, looking for that perfect mountain retreat, fall in love with the gorgeous deck and expansive views, click for more info, right? So this was like a basic ad copy. I'm pretty sure I stole from Lesley. That was just kind of filling in mountain retreat, gorgeous deck and expansive views, and everything else was just kind of blank. And so again, I've not revealed anything about the house except that it's a mountain home. It's listed under 400,000. And I've told them what they can see already from the full photo is that it has a gorgeous deck and expansive views, right? So I just put here mountain home for under 400,000. I put that very specifically because that is something a lot of people in my area are looking for. So I want to write a title of something a lot of people are looking for, so a lot of people click on it. And then the one theory I will say about photos, if you're advertising around a specific listing, is set aside everything you know about putting photos into the MLS, because you always start with the outside, you start with those things. Forget about that. When you're running an ad, you're going to choose the singular best photo you have, and you're going to put that as your photo. I don't care if it's the master bath or the backyard or whatever. If I would have gone with the MLS first photo, it would have been this brown rectangle on a dirt lot. Like, it doesn't look great, but this looks awesome. So that would be my suggestion. Here you can see the numbers. I ran this for 7 days. I spent $30 over 7 days. So I was testing the lower end of my spend per day. And I got 26 leads at $1.15 a lead. You see 136 people clicked on it. 1,592 people saw it. So that was another good example of an ad there. So
I love it. And I love how specific you got with the price point too.
Yeah.
So what kind of questions do you guys have? Because we are at the halfway point, just enough time to give us some ample time to actually build an ad for you. So feel free to unmute yourself too, since we have a nice, a decent crowd here.
Love it. Any questions before we jump into building the ad?
Okay.
Yes, hi, sorry.
Oh, yes.
I'm not sure
Hi.
if you answered already. What if you have a listing or if you never had a listing?
I love the question. And the answer is, number one, there's two answers. Number one, you can actually ask somebody in your market center if you could borrow their listing to market it. A lot of agents just love the publicity, and especially sellers love it as well. Number two, I highly suggest to just use a home search app, or excuse me, a home search ad, so that it looks like you are busy. And it portrays that busyness through online. And that's exactly in this example that we just showed you earlier. And is it Janetta? Am I pronouncing it correctly? Janetta,
Yes, Janetta.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Nice to meet you. So this is actually being recorded. So if we're going to send this recording back to you guys, and you can rewatch what we said and kind of see the examples that we showed if you came in late.
Yeah.
Cool. Tyler, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, we covered it earlier on with a lot of different ideas. That it's one of the biggest pushbacks we get. You do not need a listing. You don't need to advertise a listing. Just advertise homes for sale, homes under 400,000 in Atlanta, or homes under 400,000 in Denver. And then if you're doing that, your ad doesn't need to have an active home for sale. It just needs to have a picture of a home that's similar to what they're going to find. So then you go find a stock photo, go take it. Like, one time I ran an ad and went outside and took a picture of my own house, because like that was a similar home to what I need to run an ad for. Literally just get creative. All that matters is it's similar to the ad you're running, and you have permission to use the photo. And there's a million different routes you can go to try to find photos that you have permission to use. So.
Yay. Okay, cool. Are you guys ready to make an ad?
Let's do it.
All right, I'm going to share my screen. Tyler is going to be my filler in when I start actually creating it. But we're going to start in command. Yay.
Let's do it.
So let's do it. I wanted to show you my screen, and we're going to actually start in designs, believe it or not. So I'm going to show you Janetta. Actually, this is a perfect example for you for a home search ad. Okay. So right off the bat, I'm over here. I'm going to click on the KW logo, and we are literally in the designs applet right now. Next step, I'm going to select create design. And remember, this is being recorded. So if you want to watch, just watch with me, and then you can get the playback later. I'm going to select social. Social is always the best option because it's going to give you the social square that is for the best placement to optimize your ad. So always choose social square, and I will show you this here soon as my screen opens up. All right. Left side of my screen, you're going to see all of the topics. I'm going to select listings, even though we're doing a home search ad. Don't get too confused by this, but I'm going to share with you my favorite one. The one that I shared with you earlier was found here, the one that was in Upper West Side, New York. So Social Square, I'm going to click for sale and then Social Square. Got a little click happy there. All right. So as this comes up, I love to use, I thought it was, oh, here it is. Let me just move my screen. I have a huge monitor, so things get lost. This one down here where it says for sale. I'm going to select that. And this one's nice because it's very simple. And just another pro tip here, we are not going to do much, but just change what it says and the image. All right. So as I told you earlier before, there are stock images inside this section. So as you can see, left side of my screen, it says stock. So you can actually search free images for the homes that depict the area that you are going to be promoting. Now, because I know the area so well, I'm not going to show you like my search, and we're going to save you time there. So I'm going to head to workspace, because the workspace section I find has a lot of great stock images, and these workspace images are provided by KW Marketing. So really cool stuff. You'll see miscellaneous, holidays, et cetera, et cetera. I love to use the house exteriors. What if you want to use your own photo? Love the question, Mary. I'm going to show you where you can add that. And yes, you can absolutely use your own photo. But in this case scenario, some people may not have their listing, right? So I'm going to actually do, let's see. I was going to do Highlands Ranch, Tyler, but I'm thinking about maybe somewhere in the Denver Highlands. This is kind of a cool photo.
Yep.
So right side of my screen, see how I clicked on this square? It actually selected it. We want that. Absolutely want that, because the next step here is going to be a really quick change, and it's a really nice option to have. Now, of course, it's not working. Give me 1 second. There you go. See that little arrow? If I click on that arrow, it's going to automatically pull this photo in, so I don't have to go in and resize it. And of course, it's acting slow on me. Don't you love when that happens? All right, I'm just going to drag it. Cool. So there's my image. Next, I'm going to actually just keep the for sale. I'm going to keep that. And I'm going to change this bottom section to the location of where we're going to be pointing everybody to this ad. So this ad's going to be in the Highlands in Denver, Colorado. So I'm just going to type in Highlands, just because if you're a local, you don't say the Highlands, you say Highlands. And there it is. That's it. That's my image. How fast was that? It probably took me like maybe 2 minutes, right? I love to come up here and just title my image so that I can come back and reuse it later. So I'm going to just type in Facebook template, Facebook ad template, so that it will save. Now I'm going to select, I'm going to actually just download it just in case, because sometimes it doesn't pull in right away. But in this case scenario, I'm going to select done. Okay, that's it. Now that we have our image, we're going to actually go and create the ad itself. You guys ready for the juicy stuff? All right, get excited. So over here on the left-hand side of my screen, I'm going to select the campaign icon. And at the top of the screen, I'm going to select create campaign on the right-hand side. Do you see that blue button? I'm going to select there. Next step, I'm going to select social ad. All right. Because this is a home search ad, I love to just type in the area that I am going to be promoting. So I'm going to say Highlands, Denver, so I can remember and recall this ad. We're going to attract buyers because we don't have a listing. I'm going to select Facebook and Instagram and then create campaign. Now, if you don't have Instagram connected to your Facebook account and you do have Instagram, make sure that you add that into your settings section inside command. I'm not going to show you how to do that today, but just make a note of that and then it will appear. All right, so main copy. And then Tyler, this is where you can start entertaining people.
Love it. All right. So, so this is the form when you're building an ad. And so to just kind of explain, name and goal is the top one. It's already there from what you selected on the previous screen. Listing is where, if you have a listing, you personally, active or a past one, or someone has given you permission to use their listing, you can click that add listing button. You can go search for it, and then you can pull it in. So it automatically pulls in description and photos from that listing, right? So that makes it really easy just to get photos and description from that listing. Because we're not pulling from a listing, we're not going to that area. We don't have to mess with it. So now this is your main ad copy section. So that main copy, you can see it's going on the top of that ad itself. That's where it goes in there. So that's where you want to have the emojis, have your main description you saw in the other ads. It goes into that first box. Okay. Again, recommend that you are doing something that catches attention. So it has emojis, it has capital letters, and it's not giving away too much. It's just kind of the general, like she said, just listed in Highlands, Denver. Are you thinking about moving, right? And so just kind of a high level copy. Now, that second area, headline, it goes where it says headline over there in the ad. So this is 25 characters or less. So this is just meant to grab someone's attention, something short and sweet to grab their attention. And then description down there, it's only going to give a short preview of that description underneath the headline. So you don't have to get too crazy with what you write there. I generally just like to do a longer form version of what I've already written up there. So if it says just listed in Highlands, Denver, are you thinking about moving to the Highlands area? I may write something really similar in the description. Would you like to take a look at some homes just listed in the Highlands, Denver area? Click and you'll find more information, something like that. The description box matters the least because it's only going to show a small portion of it. And it's probably the last place where someone's eyes are going to go when you're building the ad. So those are going to be the highlights of the ad copy. The other thing I will say about copy headline is, start with something that's proven and then get creative. Like, you don't need to make this up. You can go to Command Your Conversion. You can look at our ad examples, just like take ad copy from something else that's worked from somebody else, do some slight changes to fit your area, and then you can get creative over time. But there's no reason to write something from scratch if you have other ad copy that you know is working.
Perfect. I love it. You're such a great filler-inner. We need to work together more often. Okay, cool. And we are, right?
Someone said, do you suggest advertising in both Facebook and Instagram? I like advertising in both if you have the ability to do so, but there's going to be a section later where we let Facebook decide where they deliver the ad. So there's no reason to not do both if you let Facebook decide where the ad should be delivered based on what they think your return should be. So they may not put your ad at all on Instagram if they don't think it's going to work there. But if they think it's going to work there, they'll put it there. So there's no reason to not give them that option, basically.
Perfect. All right. Are you thinking about moving to Highlands area? The Highlands area is minutes away from Denver, great schools, parks, and more. These homes just hit the market. I'm going to actually just say, get the list here. And this has also been tested to work. So get the list here. So what you guys are receiving now is all the A and B testing results that Tyler and I have been through. So you're getting first dibs on actual copy and ad sets that work. So get the list here. And I like to say, click here to learn more. And you're gonna see that I'm running out of characters. Watch, my typewriter's a little slow. Okay, perfect. Now 243 out of 250 characters. I actually have a running list of emojis kind of pulled up next to me because I'm always creating ads. So it's kind of nice to just have like a running list. So just kind of keep this in mind. That's why I'm able to find things quickly. At least I think it's quick. And then I love to put the hand symbol to kind of prompt them. And we always say CTA, so call to action is just always something that you should absolutely have. Otherwise, what's the point of them clicking, right?
Yep.
Where is my little hand here? Give me 1 second. Of course, I don't have this one pulled up. I'm going to actually show you, that little emoji is actually in here inside the copy area. So you can actually just type in and then select it. Sweet. Headline.
And you guys can see how much more visually appealing that ad is just with those two emojis inserted. Instead of a big block of text now, those two emojis just split it up such that it gives it and makes it just that much more appealing to the average consumer scrolling through Facebook.
Yeah.
Keep in
Perfect.
mind, people do not go to Facebook or Instagram to look for homes for sale. They go to be entertained. And so you need to frame your ad in something that's entertaining and visually appealing. That you need to give them what they're looking for, entertaining, visually appealing. Hopefully that then leads them to look at homes and buy a house.
I love that tip. So check this out. From the very beginning, we started in designs. I'm going to now add the media by going to the media section. I'm going to select media. And the really nice thing about designs is that you can actually pull the design from designs from here. So I'm going to say add images, browse design library. And remember how I told you to name your design? There it is, Facebook ad template. And it's going to pull it in for me. It's amazing. Sometimes if you do it really quick and you're a wizard, it takes a minute for it to kind of pop in. So sometimes that's why I download it. See, there it is. It's not ready. But just so you know, that is the option. I'm going to actually upload the image for the sake of time. I had a sneaking suspicion it was going to do that to me today.
So someone that asked that question earlier. If you are going to go to designs and you just already have the photo to upload, you would do that same. Just upload any photo from your computer.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, and we didn't show that just for the sake of time. So love it. Thank you. So square for best placements. Don't ever change that. Always use square. Save image. I never crop it just because I trust the artificial intelligence and optimization here. Perfect.
Can you go back to the add more button? I just want to mention one more thing to the media.
Yes.
Earlier, I talked about you could add a listing and it would pull in the photos and the descriptions. That first tab is all the photos it pulled in from the listing if you added it. Obviously, if you didn't, you'll need to go somewhere else. So then you'll have all the listings from the photo to choose from on which one you want to select.
Yes, it's the command has made it so convenient and easy and quick for us to save time. I love it. Thanks for that. All right, so you guys look at the ad. It looks pretty sweet, right? So I'm going to select save. I'm not going to go over DBA stuff, but just it'll always ask you to make sure that your logo's on it, and it won't let you go forward if not.
Yep.
All right, Facebook and Instagram settings. Here is where we pull our business page in. We always use a Facebook lead generation form. We're going to point this URL to our agent site. So I'm going to do just a quick tip on how to do this.
This is a big thing. Watch this, guys, because this is one of our most common questions. This is where we're going to direct people when they click on the ad. So someone asked earlier, what happens when they click learn more? This is what happens.
Yep. I'm just going to put in Denver for sake of time, because this doesn't really matter, because I'm just going to put Denver in. All right, there's my home search. I'm going to grab this URL up at the top, copy it, come back and paste it. Okay, so always lead them to your site because you don't want any other person in the middle of capturing your leads. All right.
So the beautiful thing about that step is you don't need to create any sort of custom landing page at Keller Williams. You can if you want to. All you have to do is go to your KW site, build whatever search you want on your site, and just copy the URL when you're done building your search, and it'll take the leads directly to whatever search you've done. Super
awesome. Super easy. Denver, Colorado is the area that I'm targeting. So just pay attention to this section. And now we're going to actually create a custom audience. And somebody had asked earlier, and I don't know if you caught it, Tyler, but somebody had asked, does targeting matter? I always say it does, especially if you want somebody who is pre-qualified and if you want to increase the quality of your lead. Do you have any other opinions on that before I show them, Tyler?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. There is an option for an auto audience where they choose it for you. I have found that works. You will get classes. You will get leads. You will get, but it just probably is not as good of a cost per lead as if you did a custom audience.
Yeah. So I'm going to select add interests, and if you are taking notes or want to screenshot this afterwards, feel free. I suggest do a quick screenshot so that you don't have to write everything down. Okay. So since we're looking for buyers, here are my top interests that I use. So I just type in mortgage loans, mortgage calculator, mortgage insurance. Make sure that those stay selected. Okay. You want somebody who's pre-qualified, right? Well, let's capture good leads. That's also an option. I also like to use house. So house and house hunting is always a good one, are always good ones. And then let's say I want to go for somebody who's a first-time buyer. Yeah, you can target that in command. How cool is that? First-time home buyer grant. Sure, why not? Let's add that. I also like to do single detached because it also gives me somebody who is looking for not a condo or not a townhome, right? And then I also do, let's do first time buyer, I do FHA. So FHA insured loans. And let's look at my list. So always click save. And it's going to show us our list here. See if I'm missing that. I think I have everything that that I typically use. Now, this is just for a basic home search. I'm looking for any buyer. We're not covering luxury buyers. There is another luxury list for that, but for the sake of time, this is what we're doing today. I'm going to select narrow audience. Now, narrowing audience is meaning I want to make sure that the people that are looking for mortgage loans, mortgage calculator, all the interests above are also going to be really serious and they're already doing their home search on Zillow, realtor.com. And I like to add in Trulia. For those who are looking in townhomes or condos, I typically like to use rent.com in this section, just as a side note. But I'm not going to do rent.com just because I'm not looking for people who are thinking about buying their first home. Now, I'm going to save audience. You can also save this as a custom audience. I'm not going to go into that detail just for the sake of time. Save. Now, lead settings. This is really, really cool. We can auto tag these leads as they come in. Quick tip, I always like to put Facebook lead and what kind of ad I'm running. So Highlands, Denver, home search ad. It can be really long, be really short. Don't overthink it. This is just for you to recall your memory bank. There are a lot of smart plans out there that work great. I'm going to share with you the top ones that I typically use is Revised Town Property. That was Nick Baldwin's smart plan. Still works great, still converts, nothing wrong with that. Tyler also has his smart plans. We're not going to be covering that just yet because I want to make sure that we get through this ad set. All right, duration and budget. This is where we talked about earlier. I always like to do 50. Notice how the daily per channel changes when I click 50. And then I'm going to shorten it. So 10, 9, 8, 7 days. See, that's a little under $4 like I had mentioned earlier. Pro tip, don't use distribute evenly across 2 channels. Do not use that. Use automatic placements because you want the artificial intelligence to optimize your ad to the fullest.
Yep.
All right, there you go. That is how you create an ad. All you have to do is select publish campaign.
Boom. Guys, it
Boom.
is that easy. You don't need to overthink it. Here's what I would recommend. I would recommend you just create an ad. Like, don't worry too much about, don't worry too much about the exact ad copy. Like Keller Williams has made it so easy and dialed it in that I promise you guys, if you do something similar to what she just created, you will have leads and you will have people to call. Now, over time, you could dial it in, get better ads, hone in on the other parts of the process. But what I love about KW is it's made it so incredibly simple to generate ads and to generate cheap leads that this is part of the process we get the most questions on. But quite frankly, I feel like this is the easiest part of the process. Like I feel like you're going to be able to put this out and generate cheap leads. And so, but we always like to dive in because you can't go anywhere if you don't have ads and you don't have leads.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
So let me circle back around to something I said at the beginning. We said 2 things. We wanted to go super deep into building ads and ads that work. But I also mentioned that I wanted to at least tell you what the framework was for converting ads, right? So I believe there's a 4-step process. The first step is generating cheap leads. That's the step we went in depth on today, how to build an ad and generate cheap leads. But that's just the beginning, okay? So the second step is getting a hold of those leads, right? Leveraging smart plans, leveraging your action to get a hold of those leads. The third step is scripting. It's knowing what to say when you get a hold of those leads, because it's not the same as what you would say to your sphere. It's not the same as what you would say to an agent referral. So knowing what to say when you get a hold of those leads. And then finally, it's the long-term follow-up. Facebook leads may not always be ready to go right now. So you need to be prepared to stay in touch with them for 3, 6, 9 months before they're ready to transact. And so what does that look like, right? So each of those could be a class in and of itself. But what we wanted to do is to go in depth on the ad building, because you can't get anywhere without that, and make sure you understand that framework of those 3 other things that you need to have figured out to have it be a whole complete system that makes you money and is scalable. So.
Yes. Do you guys have any questions? Anybody, feel free to unmute.
I have a
Don't
couple
be
of
shy.
questions,
Hi,
Lesley.
Tracy.
Hi.
Hi. I see
Okay,
you on
so
Facebook a lot.
which smart plan did you say you used? It was My Revised Home.
My Revised Town Property Specific.
Okay, what other smart plans do you like to use besides that one, if any?
Look for
So that one's
relevant.
a really, yeah, so that one's a really good one for home search. And then
Which
Tyler
one?
has that smart plan that I just told you about is a really good smart plan for home search ads.
Okay.
And then Tyler has his own smart plan inside the library as well. So Tyler, do you want to tell them a little bit about that smart plan?
Yeah. So our team, we uploaded our smart plans into the smart plan library. You can look for my name, Tyler Shields, as author name, or you can search for smart plan name and look for Relevate, which is my team name, and that's in there. We have 2 different smart plans in there. One for the first week after they register, and then one for the next 4 weeks after that, if you haven't gotten a hold of them. And so definitely go leverage those. Again, keep in mind, the goal is just to get a hold of them. So that's what those first couple smart plans are built for, is the number of and the types of touches and the scripts around just getting a hold of that lead. So.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you, Tracy. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. Anybody else have any questions? And then Tyler and I will close it out with a little bit more information too.
Yeah.
All right, no questions. Well, listen, we're so excited to announce that we will be teaching Sell a Million together in the next 2 weeks on January 13th. I'm going to again place that link in the chat. But what the really cool thing about Sell a Million class is that I've taught it over the years with Nick Baldwin. Now Tyler is my new partner in crime with this new class and course. And the reason why I also brought Tyler in is because he is a pro at scripts and converting. He closes 100 leads, online leads a year. And so in this course, it's a 3-part series. It starts on the 13th for 1 hour for 3 weeks. It's going to be covering everything that we did today, but more in depth. So somebody was asking about the consumer site. We're going to be doing a deep dive on how to use that consumer site, how to change that home search, how to actually point people to it, and giving you the ins and outs of it so that you can make powerful ad sets. We're then also going to discuss scripts. Tyler is going to give you liquid gold information about how he closes his leads. And that is the newest part about Sell a Million course that I think has been missing over the years that I've been teaching it. So I'm super excited to have Tyler on. Last week will be how to put it all together. So you're going to get more in-depth information, scripts, and Tyler's brains on online leads, and then adding it together so that you can actually convert.
Yep.
Tyler,
Yep,
how would you like
absolutely.
to add and close?
Yeah, I think we've just realized over time that there's just so much more information than what you can jam like on a Facebook page or in a 1-hour course. And so we just decided, hey, for those that want to go deeper and want just kind of support around the entire system, there needs to be a course for that. And so that's what this course is. And again, I would argue that the biggest deficit within command ads and command leads over the past 2 years has been the system around conversion. It's not just generating those leads by conversion,
100%.
but so much talk around creating ads and generating leads. And I've kind of been watching from afar, like, but no one's talking about what you got to do to convert those, because it's different than what a lot of agents are used to. And so I'm excited to jump in and not just give you theory, but to say, I talk with people about the lowest form of value is for me to say, here's a system that theoretically works. I haven't done it, but this theoretically works. We're not coming to you from that level. The next level
Right.
is, this has worked for me, so it can work for you. That's fine. But I know oftentimes people just think one person might be special and it's random, right? But the level that we're coming to you from is, we have taught other people how to do this, and it works. I recall a class I taught to someone, an agent in Colorado Springs. And then a year later, he said, hey, I've closed 13 deals this past year from command leads from what you taught me, right? And so that is the best example of, it's not just special, it's not just us. Like, this is something that can be taught, that someone can take and leverage and use. And so if you're curious about that full system, this is that class that should give you that end-to-end piece. So
Awesome. Gosh, look at us ending right on time. We are killing it, Tyler. Well, thank you again all so much for joining us. You will get a recording after it gets converted. I will send that out to you at least within 24 hours. Be kind to me. But if I don't get out, I would say by Monday. So give me until by Monday, okay? Little grace there. Otherwise, have a wonderful weekend, and thank you so much.
Love it. Thanks, guys.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.